Okay, stop crying.
For over 25 years, Love Sock has been rewriting the rules of comfort. It's okay to change your style. Get messy. Get immersed.
Hey.
Love Sock,
Hey.
you make the rules. I was paying for my ex's wine club membership for months before I got it. After we broke up, I forgot all about it, but my credit card did not. That's why I downloaded Rocket Money, an app that shows you all your subscriptions in one place, and anything you don't want, cancel right in the app. Raise a glass to smarter spending and download Rocket Money today. Okay, with me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Fruit Loops buying the loopy side.
How am I gonna find a doctor when I'm hallucinating?
What about Zocto?
So many options.
Yeah, and Dr. Sheechan even takes your sketchy insurance. Sheechan. You've got more options than you know. Look now, PTSD isn't something that is just gonna go away on its own.
Treatment works. It helps.
There's no shame in treatment.
Just do it. Your world will be so different afterwards.
It's a warrior sickness. It's not a coward sickness. Never too late. I guarantee you it'll help you.
It will change your life.
It turned my life around.
You can find peace.
Never thought I could feel this good. Walk through those doors, take the step.
Go get help. It's the best and bravest thing you could ever do. Treatment works.
Take it easy, yeah. Make yourself right.
How much is too much catnip?
Got pet questions? Get pet answers for free. All the parts you need at the prices you want. Guaranteed to fit every time. So you can keep your ride and die alive.
Cleaning your dog's teeth can be hard. But not with Greenie's dental treats.
When you deliver with DoorDash, every open door
Tacos.
can help you reach your goals faster. Because gigging with the #1 food delivery app means more money instantly in your pocket. Sign up in minutes, earn within days.
New windshield. Makes the car grow up quite a bit. Now the problem is we have acquired a new engine, which is a 283, but unfortunately I don't have a clutch that's going to go with it, and that's not even going to be here tomorrow, which means I have a day tomorrow to make the brakes work on this thing. So I'm going to start just ripping some stuff apart here, and then we'll dive into having to replumb the entire car's brake system. It's like brand new. So I got the brake drum off of what was our mystery front brake system, and looking inside, it's not that much of a mystery at all, because to me, this looks like the very familiar Bendix braking system like you'd find on a muscle car or something like that. But even better, it looks like it's in remarkably good condition. Wheel cylinder looks like it's never been operated. Looking a little bit further, even the brake hoses look okay. But the whole system's going to have to be replumbed because all of the brake lines are pretty much cut or rusted out and generally unsafe. So, the brakes. That's the whole story, and I'm sticking with it. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's it. The push rod's in place. Now there's only one thing to do. Install it. David? Boom.
Okay.
Got it?
That's dropped, yeah.
Okay. Right now, David's working on replumbing the entire car's braking system, and I'm trying to get this direct replacement fit aftermarket radiator to actually fit. It's interfering down here at the lower core support bracing, so I'm going to have to clear this out by cutting some metal plate, and then it should go right in. I just finished up doing the brake lines all across the firewall, and I was going to try and make Steve do the hard line that goes underneath the car to the rear end, and neither one of us wanted to face that. So we're procrastinating by working on our transmission. First of all, this is a GM 4-speed. It looks to be a 66 to 70 Muncie, probably M20. You know,
Quit
the
whining.
in the thing. And first had it in the car, this was stuck. The shifter just wouldn't move. I've been putting penetrating lube on the thing for a few days and get a little action out of it. So we need to work more on that. And the throwout bearing is completely rusted the bearing retainer up here, and no amount of bashing on the clutch fork was able to get it off, so Steve's working on getting a puller.
Why don't you just get away from that shifter and bash that shift fork out of the way?
It won't work. I tried it.
No, just take it out. It's just got that spring clip on the ball, right? You're gonna make it work. There you go. You're getting it.
You know, the big thing we're waiting on here is a new flywheel. Oh, look, I fixed it. The big thing we're waiting on is a new flywheel and clutch and everything, because the old one was all trashed. Well, that's like new now.
There's nothing more to do here.
Wow. With the front bearing solved, we started messing around with the shifter. It was all bound up. This is a first competition plus, which is actually pretty cool. Here's how the transmission works. This lever right here is reverse. This one right here is first and second. This one is third and fourth. The problem we're experiencing is that you can either get cleanly into third and fourth or first and second, but not both. So we've got an adjustment problem. And what you do with the competition plus is you slip a pin or a screwdriver here through all three of those levers, and that gives you that float right when it's in neutral. And now I believe what's happening is that this one is too short and it isn't allowing this to free up. So it's always hanging in either third or fourth and not allowing first or second to happen.
So it looked like to me.
See, because now if you do this, yeah, right?
That's where it wants to end up. So right now,
That's in a gear, and that's in a gear, so that's free.
yeah, that's your neutral right there.
Yeah.
You look how far up that rod is.
Exactly. So if we can turn this rod without, oh, you can. Great.
Take this one off too.
Okay. So we're just going to adjust the length of the rod so that it cleanly gets that one into neutral.
Way off.
Yeah, it is.
It would have made it really frustrating to try to shift.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to crawl underneath all the time to.
To change from first to second.
Yeah.
Now it should work. They had that thing wildly out of whack.
Yeah.
First, second, third, fourth.
Oh man, that was bang shifting it.
You're going to be able to break this. No problem.
Oh, that 8-inch rear end is going to be
It's toast.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Getting a Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer on the car. I can't bring this baby to New York. I enter a couple of details like license plate, mile, condition. I'll upload these photos and done. Wow, that was fast.
Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, brings you the Select Cut mower. Customize the cut with 3 interchangeable blades. It cuts for over an hour on a single charge. Ego, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Imagine making premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Introducing Bartesian. Simply insert the capsule, select your strength, and enjoy. Shop for mom and get $50 off only at bartesian.com/mom.
Oh man, do you stick with plump, juicy raisins or try something deliciously frosted? Best to really chew on this one. But maybe not so loudly. More delicious ways to brand.
When you're a small business owner, your to-do list can be a lot. That's why Progressive makes it easy to save with a commercial auto quote online, so you can take on all your other to-dos.
Already did.
See if you could save at progressivecommercial.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I've lost 152 pounds on GoLo. My biggest concern when I started GoLo was food. I'm a big guy, and shocking. I like to eat. I was worried it was going to be like other diets that were bland and restricting. But with GoLo, my meals are great, and I'm no longer hungry like I was before. I'm so pleased I gave GoLo a shot. Don't wait. Go to GoLo.com.
Itchy pet? With Chewy, save 20% on your first pharmacy order. So you can put an end to the itch. Get flea and tick medication delivered right to your door.
new Chevy, same as the old Chevy. Not really. We did determine that our 307 that was in the Ranchero was all locked up, and so we went on a shopping frenzy and came up with this. But before I tell you about this engine, let's address the elephant in the room, which is why are we putting a small block Chevy back in our Ford? Well, here's the thing. Remember that I'm just trying to make this car run and drive. We want to decide if we love it before we commit. This bolts right in. It's a 283 small block Chevy, the second small block Chevy. The first one was a 265 in 1955. The 283 was like an overboard version that came out in 1957, and they ran all the way through 1967. A couple of ways we know that this is an early motor is, first, it's got the front oil fill like this, but it's an aftermarket intake manifold, so anything could have that. The weird thing is, if you look carefully, there is no crank bolt in it at all. Many of these 283s, virtually all of them, had no bolt holding the damper to the crank. They were just pressed on. So that's a little bit scary that that's still that way. Also, look back here. This is the remnants of a road draft tube. The early engines didn't use a PCV valve. Instead, there was a tube that ran from here down to the bottom of the car, and the wind passing under the car created a Venturi effect that sucked all the crankcase fumes and just left them on the ground. So this thing came with a cam card. It has got a big flat tappet cam in it, 234, 244, I think. It's got this Holly Street Dominator intake and an HEI, and boy, do I hope that we've got time to remove these embarrassing ball-milled billet valve covers. So that's our 283. We won't be able to install it until we get the clutch and everything tomorrow. Oh, but let me show you this weird carburetor it came with. This is cool. Come here. Look at this thing. I saw this in the ad and I was like, ooh, the engine comes with a Holly HP. But Dulcich looked at it and said to me, what is the smallest 4-barrel that you can get from Holly? It's 390 CFM. See how tiny the Venturi are? See how tiny the butterflies are? This thing is cool. They sell them under a NASCAR-approved name, and if you were to buy this new, it's $825. So why wouldn't I use it on our 283? Well, there's a couple of clues in here that were kind of weird. First of all, it's got no air bleeds in it at all, and we don't have a stack of air bleeds to try and work that out. And oddly, there's no front squirter in it, and somebody's epoxied in the vent tubes, which is cool, but also the boosters, which is a little bit unusual. You know what? If I was really doing this low buck and I had time, I would force this to work. But when we bought the Ranchero, I already knew that it didn't have a carburetor, so I bought another cheap one for it, and so we're going to end up using that. But I just thought this was a cool bit of trivia. The Holly 390 CFM 4-barrel HP.
So here's the dilemma. We have a gas tank in this car, but we know nothing about it. And sometimes they're really filled with flaky rust at the bottom, which is the kiss of death, because it'll fill up the fuel filter like that. And then you're found on the road with no fuel to the car. So we're going to give it the gas tank COVID test. I just came up with this myself. I'll take this flexible piece of hose and this ordinary sock to make a flag. And then I'll take some really strong tape, wrap it around good and tight so it doesn't fall off. So, I'm gonna coat this sock with some lubricant to make it attract any kind of rust particles. The thing that's gonna happen here is I'm gonna shove this right up the fuel filler, and then this sticky sock will pick up any flaky rust if there's any in there. If it comes out clean, then I know that the tank is probably good. I go all the way to the brain when I shove this in, like that one guy. Never mind. We really don't know what's going to happen. This is the first. I just invented the gas tank COVID test, and here she comes. The tank is brand new. Look at that. Freiburger.
Is it infected?
It's absolutely impeccably clean. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do the gas tank COVID test. Look at that. No rust flakes at all. All right. I think that's good.
spontaneous. A dual-action formula with the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis. Faster acting and long-lasting. Grab the moment. Get started at rove.co/sparks.
Why is Special K so special? The multi-ray flakes. Oh, I see, it's the real fruit. Oh, no, wait, can you go back to the berries? Special K. Special for a reason.
Wait until Friday to get paid? It's tricky. Then I heard about Charm. Now I get paid 2 days early, no fees. Early payday guarantees and I can make it to any gig, any rehearsal, anytime. Join me at Charm.com.
So, I went to Experian. They actually helped lower my monthly bills. Phone, internet. Experian did the work. Also, subscriptions I forgot about. Experian canceled them for me. Help me take control of my money.
See all you can do at Experian.com/save now.
The Daymaker pads by Public Rec. More comfortable than jeans, more stylish than sweats. With the Daymakers, you can choose your waist and length sizes to guarantee a perfect fit. Now comfort looks good.
I'm Michael. I've lost 62 pounds on GOLO, and I kept it off. Most of the weight that I gained was strictly in my belly, which is a sign of insulin resistance. And since GOLO, that weight has completely gone away, as you can tell. Thanks to GOLO and Release, I've got my life and my health back.
From the wireless company that brings you the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage for up to half off, comes something just as unbelievable. A race car that's up to half off.
We did it! We took almost half off!
Hey, Brad. NASCAR just called. Turns out, this is highly illegal.
Of course, that makes sense.
Switch to Consumer Cellular, and for a limited time, new customers get their second month free.
Spring is here. Are you ready? Let's pick an outfit that embraces the new season. There's so many great vacation fits at Walmart. I might have to plan a second trip. Your style at Walmart.
99% of people eat Cheetos with their dominant hand. Even football players. And plastic surgeons.
How's it look?
Using your other hand, it's a Cheetos thing.
Bring into savings this moving season with Pods. Save up to 25% now on moving and storage, and see why Pods has been trusted with over 6 million moves. But don't wait. Save up to 25% now. Visit pods.com today.
So it's another day, and we're still waiting for the clutch parts to come in, and that's going to delay putting the engine in the car. But I can change the oil and filter and pre-lube the engine, so I'm going to get on that job right now. No one is home. Okay, so the engine's completely dry of oil. Obviously, it's been drained. Means I can go straight into pouring the high-performance motor oil in. I got gauges. These are the cheapest ones I could get at Summit Racing. Nothing but oil and water. And you know, I usually don't install gauges permanently in cars like this. And so this is going to be another Roadkill Garage zip tie moment. So the guy who had this before obviously had an 8-track player hanging underneath the dash, and there's 2 brackets here. So what I'm going to do is suspend this gauge panel equidistant between the two and let it just dangle freely. It'll be like floating art right there. So I'm going to put one zip tie up through here, and I'm going to hang another one over here. Now the key to this entire installation is going to be zip tying it so that it dangles taut and equidistant between the 2 halves of the bracket. Will I get it centered? Ooh, I did it. Look at that. That's like art right there. Now I'm going to use my flush cuts. Dink. And dink. Perfect. Another Roadkill Garage sub-average zip tie moment. Do you recognize what this was? A Chevy distributor? And do you recognize what it is now? Pre-lubing tool? That's right. It allows you to lube before you lube. It's pre-lubing.
That is a pre-lubing tool. He's going to ask me to turn the flywheel and rotate the engine as we lube it so that the oil gets in different places. If you just let it sit still and don't rotate it, then there's some journals that are going to get plugged and not get as much oil. It's the cam I'm mostly worried about.
Okay, I'll call that pre-lube.
Okay.
Our clutch parts finally came in, so step one's going to be installing the pilot bushing. I made the driving tool out some sockets and washers, and it's going to work really good, I think, or I hope. Ow.
Done? Yeah, that was great. All right, now I need to put on the flywheel and the clutch, then put on the transmission, then drop the whole thing in the car.
There you go. Think that's good enough?
Sure, trigger in.
Stop. Okay, here's where we reach a problem.
Right, the problem that we're having here is the engine needs more angle, so Steve's going to stand on it while I let it down.
You might have to push in right away.
Okay, in?
Yeah.
Here we go. You riding them, cowboy?
Yeah, you just drop it right there.
I am. Okay, I pushed you in. Here you come down.
What could go wrong here?
Okay, Steve, I'm going to push in.
Push in. And drop down.
You getting that shifter under the firewall?
I'm doing my best.
Oh, yeah, you are. Oh, yeah. That was a lot like Gandy dancing. Do you know what Gandy dancing is, Dulcich?
I just demonstrated it.
That's right.
Okay, the chain's dangling.
Yeah, but yours is up on something then.
Oh, it's sitting on
It's on the front axle.
Yeah.
How could that be?
Okay.
This is a big problem.
This is no good.
This is utterly no good.
Yeah.
The snafu continues. So Steve Gandy danced the engine all into place, and we've been fighting it ever since. The problem is the oil pan hits the front axle. We thought the oil pan was only going to hit that cross member. We started investigating, and the deal is this oil pan has got a sump that's 1.25 inches shorter this way than the one that's in the car. And that's when we noticed this witness mark right here, which is the front axle hitting the oil pan just from us trailering the car over here from when we found the thing. And so the bottom line to all of that is to solve the problem, we're going to make this thing sit high in the nose. That solid front axle has been swapped so the leaf springs are under the axle. And so what we're going to do now is undo that lowering. We're going to take all the leaf springs apart and we're going to put them on top of the axle and frankly probably give it a better stance because it was pretty ugly before, and will also give us that oil pan clearance that we need. All right, we've got the whole front suspension changed around. We gained a whole bunch of ride height, a whole bunch of axle clearance. Now this thing better fit. We've also got a different lift plate here, and we've got the hook in the front of it, so we got more angle. Okay, so we put it in an angle. Oh, look at that.
That was pretty good.
That's like installed right there, isn't it?
Pretty close.
Okay, I got my mold through.
Trigger out.
Ah, that's always a great moment.
I know. Okay, with me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Fruit Loops by the Loopy Side.
I was just feeling sick. And it was the worst day. Mom was fine. I was sad.
I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma.
Once we got the first initial hit, it was just straight tears, sickness in your stomach, just don't want to get up out of bed.
That said, well, you gotta look on the bright side of things. Tell me what the bright side of childhood cancer is.
It's a long road. It's hard. But
St. Jude has gotten us through it.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works day after day to find cures and save the lives of children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Thanks to generous donors like you, families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, so they can focus on helping their child live.
Without all of those donations, St. Jude would not be able to do all of the exceptional work that they do.
For just $19 a month, you'll help us continue the life-saving research and treatment these kids need.
No matter if it's a big business or just the grandmother that donates once a month, they are changing people's lives, and that's a big deal.
Join with your debit or credit card right now, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt that you can proudly wear to show your support.
Our family is forever grateful for donations, big and small, because it's completely changed our lives and it's given us a second chance. St. Jude's not going to stop until every single kid gets that chance to walk out of the doors of this hospital cancer-free.
Please don't wait. Call, go online, or scan the QR code below right now.
Dude, what are you doing? I'm protecting my car. That's too much work. WeatherTech is so much easier. Laser measured floor liners up here, seat protector and cargo liner back there. Nice. Out here, side window deflectors. And mud flaps. And the bump step to keep the bumper dent free. Cool. It's the best protection for your vehicle, new or pre-owned. Great. But where do I order? WeatherTech.com. The last day we have for this episode, and as per usual, this is the day 90% of the work needs to happen. Right. We always like procrastinate for 4 days, and then on day 5, have to do all this. Yuck. My idea is the first thing we got to do is get the trans cross member in and lock down the motor mounts, and then drive shaft. We still have to bleed the brakes.
That'll be a good one.
You know what I can't wait for, though?
What?
It's the wheels and tires.
Yeah,
That's going to be cool.
it's going to look great.
And we're going to put it on the ground and see it nose high for the first time. I think that'll be pretty cool. So that's our motivation.
Okay.
There. Install. Okay, drive shaft's tight. That should be third. That's in gear. That should be fourth. It's fouling on the cross member. Yeah, the shift linkage is hitting the cross member. I think it'll work. We just have to power shift it all the time. Alright, drive shaft, shifter, and right now bleed brakes. And up. Up. Couple of tech tips. First of all, small block Chevy has 2 different water pump pilot sizes. And the reason you care about that is that it has to mesh with your pulley and also with your fan. This one happens to fit, but here's the other thing. Many aftermarket pumps are drilled with 2 different bolt patterns for the pulley and for the fan. Here's how I deal with that to make life easy. I pick my pattern and I put one hole right at top dead center. And at that point, I can lean over and look through the grill and line up the pulley right like that, and then I can come in with my fan and get it on in the first shot, like so. Boom. Nailed it. Like butter. The biggest expenses we've had on this thing so far are the replacement engine, the clutch, and this. I got a new carburetor for it. This is the least expensive Holley Type 4 barrel that you can get at Summit Racing. This is a brawler, and the reason I like it a little bit better than a Holley 1850 is it's cheaper, and it has an adjustable screw for the rate on the vacuum secondary, which is pretty cool. Here's a problem that I noticed, though. As soon as I took our lift plate off, I noticed that this intake manifold is designed for a spread bore carburetor. What is a spread bore? I can explain that by showing you this, which is a square bore. You can see that all 4 barrels are the same size. On a spread bore, the primary barrels are smaller and the secondaries are larger. Think of a Rochester Quadrajet. This intake manifold is designed for a spread bore, and you can see that because the opening is smaller up here and larger back here for those big butterflies. But the problem is, this one I think has been hogged a little bit, and there's hardly any meat right here on the wall where it opens up back here. If I just threw a gasket on and threw this on, it was probably going to have a massive vacuum leak. But Steve, my linkage master, who's working on the throttle pedal right now, had this adapter in stock. This is a common adapter that you can use to adapt from the spread bore manifold to a square bore carburetor. So it'll all go together like that. I'll slam this on there, and Steve will be able to use that to mock up his throttle linkage.
You may have noticed earlier in the show that the truck was equipped with this moon pedal, which is a pretty cool aluminum pedal, and it's hydraulic. But you know what? It's frozen, and it's way too complex, way too stiff, and way too bulky. So this is going to go. And in its place, I'm just going to install this simple little spoon pedal from Summit and this dinky little cable here. And it's super easy to install, very flexible, and very versatile. So this is the way I'm going to go. Here we go. Steve pre-fit this before we put the engine in, and made it perfect. There we go. What I'm doing now is taking this adapter that Steve needs in order to put two different radiator hoses together so that we can clock them at all sorts of weird 90-degree angles. I'm just going to put some dotted weld around it so that the hose doesn't slip off when it's clamped.
Dude, foot's on fire.
My towel! We stomped it out several times, and yet it continues to smolder and burn. Now, when we start cleaning parts with brake clean, it could engulf the entire building in flames. So I'm going to take this outside and dispose of it in the big, giant bin of trash, which is full of cardboard, and then that whole thing will explode in flames, and I'll be in trouble with the garbage company.
Not my concern. My foot's not burned. Meanwhile, I'm handling the job that he left behind on the radiator hose, but at least my toe's not burned.